Well, hello guys and gals, and welcome back to another edition of Farming Simulator 2015 with me, your old buddy, Mr. Moose. And welcome back to Cord Farms, where we are in the middle of harvesting and we are working on our cornfield. And that's what we're going to continue on with today. Now, when you remember yesterday when we left off, we took our first load back to the farm and we dropped it off. And at the same time, we recorded our Courseplay course. So let's go ahead and get this guy set up and ready to roll so that he can be taking care of the dumping. So we just want to recall our course, which is field 20 to storage. I'll grab that real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and set this up for combine mode. So we'll go to combine mode and we'll set it up to dump at, I'd say 70%. 75 is fine. And I want to go ahead and find the combine because it is a pretty big field, and he can easily get away and not get called in right when I need him to be there. And that's the thing about it, is if he's not in the general area, like let's say he's up here at the top of the field and the combine's down at the bottom end of the field, when it gets up to 80% or the 75%, it won't call this guy because this guy's too far away from him. And let's say I'm doing it on a down leg pass and I get down around that power line, it won't call this tractor from here. That's too long of a distance if it's just scanning for it. So then that means I got to go around, make a pass and start coming up, and chances are I'll run to 100% and it won't call it. So it's that's one of the reasons why I usually go ahead and just manually assign everything a value. It just seems to work out a little bit better that way. I'll go ahead and turn four-wheel drive on, so that is activated. Get it started, get the brake off, and yeah, we'll be ready to roll. So let's go ahead and just tell this to drive course, and that means we're ready to get out of it, go get in the combine and get to cutting some more corn. I'm debating on getting rid of that trailer though, that Dezur trailer. It's a nice little trailer, it works, but the turning radius on it's kind of funny, and that tractor was having some real issues with it yesterday as far as backing up. It sort of plowed instead of turning it. The tractor sort of would get sideways on it, and the trailer really wouldn't turn. So I don't know what that was. I'm tempted to just go get a different trailer. Now, I had made the comment yesterday in the video that I didn't like the Stewart's trailer because they had those silly, that big giant English flag on it. And somebody wrote me back and said, Moose, there's an option to have that trailer without the flag. And my ears kind of perked up. I was like, oh, but it's between it and the if I do get a different trailer, I would come in here and it would be between two trailers. It would be between the Fortuna, which is nice. It holds 33,000 liters, which is about what this one does. This one that I have right now with the extension on it, it's 35. It's 30 without the extension on it. And then, or it would be the Stewart's, but the Stewart's is small. It's only 23,300 liters. The other option that I have, and is still a possibility, and you guys let me know what y'all think about this, is buying the attachment for the IT runner. It's a little bit more expensive though, where both of those options are around $30,000. If I came in here and I got the IT runner and used the grain container on it, that would be $42,000, but it does hold 45,000 liters. So it's a possibility. We do already own the IT runner on this farm, so it's something we could take advantage of. So y'all let me know what y'all think, and we'll go from there. So we'll get a little more harvesting done on this field. We got so much harvesting that needs to be done on Cord Farms. I think I might do a live stream tonight on Cord Farms. I might do a round robin. I might start out on Cord Farms, go do some sugar beets on Manchester, and maybe even finish up with a little wood cutting on Rockwood. Who knows? But it is Friday night. I am going to do a live stream tonight. It'll start around 6 o'clock, and it will be farm sim of some sort. So I hope you guys will join me for it, because there's definitely plenty of harvesting to do on both farms. So alrighty, well, we are headed right on down through here. Now, yesterday I said something in this video about this guy right here, and I was like, I know I could drive through it, but yeah, I was reminded you can't, and there's another reminder right there that you can't drive through. The telephone poles you can, the power pole you cannot, so you do have to cut around it anyways. So good to know. It is collidable, so you cannot get around it. But we will have to work around it when we're doing planting, plowing, harvesting, all that good stuff. All right, making our turn here. There we go. Lock it up and we'll get going. So yesterday I mentioned I updated my software to a new piece of software. I still had some issues with desyncing that, so I'm trying something a little bit different tonight. I'll see how it works, and I did go ahead and roll my video driver back because I think it's my NVIDIA driver, and I think that's where the problem lies, because my old NVIDIA driver that I hadn't updated it in, I don't know, since maybe February, somewhere in that area. But I updated it right before I started re-recording videos, and that's when I started having issues. If you guys recall, the very first video I did when I came back, I made a comment about having some serious frame drops in Manchester, where just all of a sudden I'd have a hard dip in my FPS, and I think it's because of that driver. And that's also when I started having the sync issues with my video. So this morning I went ahead, I rolled back my video driver, and I recorded my ATS video and a couple other little things that I just ran some benchmark tests on, and it seems to be better. So we'll see what happens, because this is the first real other farm sim video that I'm running to see how it runs. Farm sim is the one that gives me the most problems as far as FPS, because it's just not optimized right, and my FPS wanders all over the place on maps like this. 1 minute you'll have 70 frames per second looking out across a field, and then you turn and you look at the farmyard and you drop down to 40. So there's a lot of instability with your frame rates, and that can cause problems as well. That's the reason I want constant frame rate of 60 frames per second locked in, and that way if there is a little bit of drop, the software will fill in the void, and it'll still ghost in a frame or two and still keep it, but in those massive drops. But it was really, I seemed like I had those massive drops when I updated the driver. So I rolled my driver back, and hopefully that's going to solve my issues. And because it was just sort of a nightmare. The video I put together last night, which was the first part of us harvesting corn, everything shifted on me. Like when I watched the original, everything was okay, but then when I started putting it into Photoshop, the audio track on the video was out of sync with the video, and then my commentary that I recorded separately didn't line up with the video, and I had to do some adjusting, and it just was it was bizarre. So that was it. I was like, I'm rolling everything back. But last night was nowhere as bad as what I'd had before. So anyways, moving forward, we'll see what happens. All right, so we'll continue to harvest our corn out of this field and do our thing. All right. back on track, getting going. So we'll get this field taken care of, and then we'll probably move up to one of the upper fields. I think it is field 14 up there in the corner. We'll transfer up to 14. We'll have to record a new course play route back to the farm and get ready to start harvesting corn out of it. So we should be able to wrap up this field today and make the trip. Hopefully, it shouldn't be too long. So all right. So what else is happening? Had a real good live stream last night. We did some more bus sim and just kind of messed around. I've got no clue what I'm doing as far as planning routes in there. I've figured out. But thanks to everybody who came out and enjoyed the stream. We've been talking about, we got to talking about doing the hunter. Somebody said I needed to do some hunting games, which I have the hunter, but I don't know how well they're going to go over and how well they would be received. I know I did one live stream with the hunter once before, and everybody was like, where are all the animals? This is boring. Where are the animals at? And yeah, it's sort of frustrating to try to do, people ask for it, and then when you go do it and it's not what they expect, they just kind of go, nah, I think I'll go play Roblox. And I don't know. Do you guys want to see something like that, like a live stream of the hunter, or are you guys still into the hunting videos and stuff? If you are, I can get some on here. I don't know that'll. I don't know. The live stream thing is questionable. What games do you want to see in live stream? That's my question. I know you guys enjoy farm sim, and I know you enjoy the construction sim and ATS. But are there other games that you want to see that we do a live stream on that are? It should be something that I've played before, probably, but I'm open to suggestions on it. What you guys like to see at night. Something else I want to talk about too in this video tonight. It just reminded me of it. The Villagers. I recorded 3 episodes on the Villagers, and I was really digging that game and was playing it and having a good time with it. But I ran into a roadblock while I didn't have internet that just destroyed that game for me. And I don't know if the developer has fixed it, but I've sort of just since kind of walked away from it. So this reason you haven't seen any more videos, because this was a major flaw in the game. Was anytime you got into the higher levels after 5 and 6 missions, 5 and 6, they were nearly impossible to complete, because you would start a farm and you would get it full of fruits and vegetables, and your farmers would start to harvest it, but then all of a sudden they just stop. They would stop and they would go to the town hall and stand in front of the town hall and just bicker the entire time. Wouldn't get anything done, wouldn't get anything accomplished. And so that's the reason why you haven't seen me do any more episodes of the Villagers. I know some of you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully they're going to get that resolved, and I won't do anything else with it until they get that part resolved. I haven't seen a patch on it or anything. I need to go back and double check, but that's the reason you guys haven't seen me play the Villagers, is just because that's a major flaw. I started out doing a free play one day so that I could actually check it out and see what free play was like, where you just did your own thing and went from there. And I got towards the spring, and what's going on here? Why are we not unloading? What is going on? Why are we not unloading into this guy? Hey, stop for a second. I think I might know why. I changed one thing on this trailer. And if I bring up the help, changed over to body style 2, right? Which put those arms up. Let's see, those right there. Now, let's see if that gives me the ability to dump into that trailer. Yep. Interesting little glitch. Okay, that further leads me to believe I need to get rid of those trailers. Ah, you learn something new every day, huh? Yeah, I put the body up on that so I thought I could get some extra, a little bit extra feet, you know, a little extra corn in there, but obviously not with that little glitch. That was interesting, to say the least. All right. So we'll roll around over here to our next path, get set up on it and cut down it now. And just work on getting the rest of this corn out of this field. So anyways, the reason I brought that up is I've been watching, I was talking to Alex, he's playing Banished and doing a series on it, and I'm thinking maybe might do some Banished on the channel if you guys are interested in it. I know some of you guys, like I said, some of you guys are into that kind of game, and Banish is 10 times harder than the Villagers was. Villagers is sort of like a more laid-back version of a medieval building game like that, but Banished is pretty darn extreme. I don't know if any of you guys would be interested in that. Let me know in chat if you'd like that kind of game. I know Alex is doing, he started out with a colonial mod, and I watched his first video on it, and I'm like, I gotta play that. So I don't know if I'm gonna play it. I thought, would you guys be interested in it? But I don't know, it might not be y'all's type of thing, so let me know, and we'll go from there. Just looking for some different things that we might do in live streams, just to give us a little more variety and mix things up a little bit. But at the same time, we can do, we got plenty of farm sim and stuff. I just don't want to be all farm sim all the time, and as soon as I start the live stream, there's always somebody that says, when's the next farm sim stream? Or why aren't you doing farm sim? You know, it's, again, I'm trying to put a farm sim video out every day now, and then do a farm sim live stream maybe once or twice a week. But I don't want to just oversaturate the channel with farm sim all the time. You know, we got to do some more stuff other than just farm sim. So I'm open to suggestions. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I'm still toying with the idea of starting another map and doing a big cattle map. If I did it, it would probably be on that Central California, because that's really what that map is designed to be. So we might do that. Somebody asked me the other day if I would do a review on that. So I need to download it anyways, just to look at. So we might do a drive-through on it as well and just see what that map is all about. I've looked at it once, but I didn't go really in depth on it. I just kind of gave it a once over and said, okay, well, this is interesting, blah blah blah. That was back in January, but it didn't really do what I wanted to do because it's just wide open. There's no real scenery and everything on it, but if all I'm doing is doing just a big, huge honking cattle farm, it really won't matter. So it is something worth considering. So apparently the Fendt went and drove into a hedgerow somewhere, so it is sitting over there spinning its tires around. Never fails, right? We'll have to tab over to it in just a second and get it off the hedgerow. Oh, it's right at the end of this row too, so it's gonna have to get moved before we get down there to it. So yeah, lots of work to do on this farm. We'll end up selling some of this whole corn as well, so we can get a little bit of money. If I do get a new trailer, I can sell that one and get about 23,000 for it. Which that'll, if I go with like the Stewart or with the Fortuna, that'll just about pay for it. The Fortuna cost about another 10,000 somewhere in there, 7,000. If I did the IT runner, it costs about 20. And that leave us sort of thin, so we need to sell some grain somewhere. And all right, so let's stop this guy and back him out of the hedge. Come on, buddy, back up. No need to hide your head in the hedges. Whatever you did wasn't that bad. All right. Alrighty. Make another pass down this side. We should be getting close to our initial cut. Yeah, we are. We're getting real close. Actually, we might be right on it this time. All right. So we'll make this cut and then we'll move to that side of the field and work it. Get it completed, and then we'll come over here and get this last little bit off of this ridge. And that will get this field done. And we should be done with this field at that point. Duh. That was such a stupid comment. We should be done with the field after I cut all the corn out of it. No kidding, Moose. Really? Really? If you harvest all the corn out of the field, you're done with it? Wow. It's late. It really is coming up on 1 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes I will say just the absolute stupidest things. But anyways. Wow. That was just... Way to go. That was smart. You're brilliant. I bet you went to college to figure that one out. Oh my. Oh man, sometimes I think I'm so smart and yet so stupid at the same point. All right, let's head down here to the bottom part, start harvesting it. Because you know, after we harvest the bottom part and that top part, we'll be done. Wow. Just wow. Oh well, self-humiliation, it's one of those things. If you can't laugh at yourself. Alright, well. Pull up the old comments here, see if there's anything good worth looking at. Oh. As we cut through the corn. Yeah, Faye90 was the one that wrote in and said the English flag is an option on the Stewart trailer. When you buy it from the store, it has no flag on it until you put it on it. So, thanks, Faye, for the information, and appreciate the comment about the videos. Appreciate that. Let's see. Cool videos. What do you have inside your PC? My complete PC spec is on the about page of my YouTube channel. So if you want to know what I'm running as far as the computer itself, as well as all of the controllers that I use, the brand name of the controllers that I use, all that information is on the about page on the YouTube page. So if you just go to YouTube, and then you hit the About tab, it'll bring up, and there's a whole section there with what the build is, and what controllers I have as well. So that's all there for you guys. Chris writes, Moose recognition is great. I like the idea of having donors have a way to express him or himself with a message. Cool idea. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is set up a StreamTip account, and I'll set that up. I'll put a link in the stream descriptions, and I will pass that on to you guys, and then that way if you want to do a tip, you can go to StreamTip, and that'll all be tied to Nightbot as well, and you can just make a donation through there, and you can use your PayPal account or whatever, and then that way it'll let you tag a note on it, and then the note will display in the live streams, and then that gives me a way to track it and put them also up on the top of the screen and say, like, this month's top donator is X person, or the last person to donate was this person, and this is how much they donated. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. Again, there's no pressure to donate. I'm not going to be asking you to do it. It's just there so the people who have asked to donate, they'll have an avenue to do it, as well as they get a recognition for it, and my gratitude for giving me a little something, you know. Let's see. John Stanley writes, truck looks good. Commenting on the American Truck Sim video where I had so much fun driving that Peterbilt 389 that I absolutely had to go back and record a video today, and also talk a little bit about the guys from CSIO. I completely missed what they were alluding to in the live stream. One of the guys was in there. I don't know who it was, if it was the guy Cody, I think his name's Cody or Corey, that is doing the whole thing, the whole project, but someone was in the stream with that tag of CSIO Technologies and brought up the point about their had a shifter that they wanted me to review, and I missed it completely. One of you guys in the chat actually saw it and tried to bring it to my attention as well, and I appreciate that. But you know, again, some of the times when I'm doing the driving games, I scan over, I take a half second to glance over at the chat, and I may miss something. I miss a lot, actually, to be honest with you. And I tend to go back and I rewatch the live stream when I'm got a little free time, and that way I can read through the chat too at the same time, and I can see what I might have missed. If I see somebody being stupid, I can make a note of that as well. And people that I'm thinking about being potential moderators, I can see how they behave and stuff like that. So I just kind of always thumb through it to see what's in there and see what's going on. And I happened to see it last night, so I looked up this guy's channel, and man, it's awesome. Well, not really a channel, but I looked up his information, and he has gone in and he's taken an actual Eaton Fuller 18-speed gear shift knob, and he's taken that and put in magnetic reed switches in there, which, if you don't know how those work, there's a reed switch, and when a magnet passes over it, makes the contacts connect, and that completes the circuit. So that's what he's done, is he's put those into the shifter somehow, and then he's tied that to a USB board, and it's all going to be contained within that one shifter. And so he started a Kickstarter program to get some help, to get the funding up, to get the USB boards down to size, get them made up, and so that they can all be a one self-contained unit, and also get the coding and everything encoded into the USB card that needs to be there, so that it basically becomes a plug-and-play apparatus. So I talked about it in depth in the live stream, so if you didn't see that, not in the live stream, I talked about it in depth on the video, the American Truck Sim video, where I drove the Peterbilt yesterday. And if you're into trucking sims like I am, you definitely want to take a look at that and get the information from that guy. I don't know if you've got the income to be a part of his Kickstarter program, but if you do, you might want to consider giving a donation to that guy, because he's definitely on the right track, and I want one. And even though I've already built my own using micro switches, I'd rather have one that's already USB configured and everything else like that. And in all honesty, before I go out and spend money on something else, I'd probably just as soon buy one of his, especially since he's got the micro switches that I have. They're epoxied into place. They can move around a little bit, and when they do, I miss a gear. So if there's something that's more reliable out there, where somebody's actually taken the time to think outside the box and use something like magnetic reed switches, it's definitely something I might rather spend some money on that and get that, versus continue to use my own. But I like mine. It works. The interface on it's sloppy. Using a keyboard interface was not necessarily the right idea. It works, but the problem is I've tied into, I took an old keyboard apart and just the motherboard out of it, which is not bigger than a credit card. I took the motherboard out of it and soldered some wires to the pins on it, and found the pin combinations I needed for the keys that I wanted to use to keystroke out the switches, right? So I set all that up. One of the issues I ran into was when you go into the wizard in American Truck Sim to set up your buttons that you want to use for your range and your splitter, guess what? They will only recognize buttons. They will not recognize keystrokes. Oops. So I have a little problem there. So what I had to do was I had to set the buttons up. I had to set buttons up for it. Then I had to go back into the configuration file, find where, out of all the list of all those buttons, I had to find where it called for the splitter and the range and those buttons. And then I had to manipulate and change out the text in there to call it to actually use a key switch. And I got it all working. But then also comes the thing of repeating keys. You know, your keyboard is if you hold down a key on your keyboard, it's going to repeat that key string over and over and over. So if I just hold down the A button, it'll hold down the A button, it'll just run on all day long. So I had to solve that problem as well, and to do that, I could do it a couple of different ways. I could use a resistor and a capacitor, and I could probably build to where when I did complete the circuit, it would be a collapsible circuit, and it would just send out a blip. But the easiest thing was to go into Windows and go in the accessibilities and turn off sticky keys or turn off key repeating. But then as soon as I want to go type something, I want to have the key repeating on, so I don't have to do so many strokes all the time. So it's one of those things. It just makes it, when I get ready to do American Truck Sim, I got to jump through those extra little hoops, and it'd be easier just to have a USB device that I could just plug in, just like I do a gamepad or a controller, and just go with it, you know. And so if he's figured all that out, my option was to go buy a USB interface card and set it up. But if he's already figured it all out, well, I just wait and get one of his, you know, and I'll just suffer through with my little one that I made. Though I am still thinking about getting a USB card. They have those 64 input cards right now for like $50, and that can make an incredible button box. Because I still want to make like I still want to make a console like is in a John Deere, you know, that's got all your buttons for your lifts, for your hydraulics. And even, you know, even though you're not going to use all the green star buttons that are on there, you could use them for something in the game, you know. So it's still one of those projects that I've got that I want to do. You know, I'm sure that the SciTech, you know, side panel is awesome for those who have it, but man, could you imagine 64 buttons to do whatever you want with? That would just be a killer button box. Even if you only use like 30 of them, you know, and then used the additional inputs for stuff like your switcher for your ATS controller, you know. All right. Oops, there went my phone off. Somebody just commented on a video. All right, spin her back around and we'll head back down this. We're getting there. We are getting there. Where's our truck at? Our tractor at? He's somewhere in this field. Oh, he just got called to me. Oh no, he's stuck somewhere. Figures. Huh. Stuck in a hedgerow. Courseplay. Here's my thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like Coursplay's gone backwards a little bit. Because it seems like a year ago there was a functionality built into Courseplay to where if your tractor ran into a hedgerow or something, after it was in there for like 10-15 seconds, didn't it used to stop itself, back up, and then try to get itself unstuck? It doesn't seem like it does that anymore. Or maybe that's only with work mode. I'm not sure. But I don't really recall because it's so long ago. But I do remember at one point they put it in there to where if you were plowing a field or something and it hit a tree, it would get itself off of that tree. It doesn't seem like it's doing that anymore. I don't know, maybe it's only work mode. But what else is going on? So Shy Wizard sends me an email, and this guy is so awesome, guys. He watches the videos, and then like right after he sees something in the video, he'll shoot a video and send it to me and tell me exactly why I'm seeing some things and everything else like that. The guy's awesome. And dude, I appreciate all the information you send me. I really do, man. You're great. So he sends me a video yesterday. Well, actually today, he watched the feeding animals part about this map, and goes on to point out to me that one, the trigger for TMR on there, I was wrong. The trigger for TMR is there for the entire range of the feeding troughs in the front. The thing is, the hitbox is so narrow, you got to be almost right up on that feeding trough in order to hit it. So that's the one thing. The reason I was able to dump silage back in that very back corner was apparently the map maker put another hitbox back there that is much larger that you can hit, and that hitbox is tied to that trough in the back, and you can feed. You can, instead of having to drive all the way back there down that narrow little alley to get to the trough, apparently those two hitboxes are tied together, and so when you go in there and you hit that one trigger point, it fills them both up at the same time. So appreciate the information from him. I just wanted to pass that along to you guys. So a little bit of the information I did in that video was incorrect. Now, in fact, there is no water on this map. He agrees with me on that one, that there is not a water trough on here for the cattle. That's not where I want to go. Come on, back up. All right. But he did show me about the silage and the TMR, and I appreciate that. So you can do the TMR on the front troughs. You just got to be almost, you basically got to have your implement hanging over the trough in order to do it. So it's not as forgiving as some of these other maps where the hitbox is a bit bigger than the feeding trough, and you just kind of got to get in the general area. You've got to actually be on top of it. And then you've got one big hitbox back there in the back corner where I was doing my feeding for, and that will put TMR in that back trough out in the field, as well as put it in that in the side trough. So appreciate the info from him. So yeah, that was good info. Good 411 on that. Bread for Men, do you slow time to 1x while doing field work and speed it up to let the crops grow? Thanks for the vids. What I do typically is I run the entire time at 1x until I get to 8 p.m. And I've said this before, I tend to put my working hours between 5:30 a.m. and 8 o'clock at night. And that's sort of the way I operate my little farm, is sun up till sun goes down, and then when the sun goes down, we bed down. So from 5:30 until 8 p.m. or while I'm working up in that area, I run my clock at 1x. I don't do any speed on it. And then when I do get to the point where I stop for the day and I call it a day and say, okay, well, that's it. That's the end of daylight. That's the end of work being done. We're not going to do any more. That's when I jump out of it, and I use a mod called Fast Forward, and that allows me to jump out of the tractor or whatever, I have to be standing outside of a piece of equipment, and then I can hit Control R. Is it Control R or Alt R? Let me make sure I tell you this right. If I get out and I hit my help menu, it's left Control R, and that will fast forward time. So you see time fast forward listed up there, and I hit that and it warps it. I mean, it flies through it. You can, that 100, whatever the speed in Giants is, whatever the fastest one, and it ain't nothing compared to that one. You can go from 8 o'clock to 5:30 in about 10 seconds. So that's what I use. That's the way I do it. My thing is, I like to use every bit of daylight, and there's always something you can be doing on one of these farms, especially once you get into livestock. There's always grass that can be mowed and baled up to keep yourself ahead of the game. There's always feedings that need to be done, or mixing some TMR up, or whatever, you know. There's usually something that you can do, even when you're running slow mod and you've got like 4 days for the field to come up. If you get yourself some other things going, like greenhouses and stuff like that, there's always something that you can do on the farm. So I don't really have to fast track time during the day, because I usually have something that I'm gonna do. But thanks for the question there, buddy. Hope that helps you out. Let's see what else. Lots of people just saying, hey buddy, good job, good work. Thanks, Josh, appreciate that. Wheels, thank you, sir. I get a kick out of people who go back and watch videos that are like months and months old, and they want to point out what they see as a mistake. Case in point, I've got this one LSPDFR video where I glitched the game out. I called for like a prisoner transport, and I called for it, and when it showed up, somehow I accidentally got in the prisoner transport, and when I did, it glitched out my police car to where I couldn't interact with it, and had a prisoner that I couldn't get into the police car, right? And there was nothing I could do. I tried everything in the world to get it done, and I even talked about it in the video, how, oh well, it's glitched out, I can't get in to get in the car, blah blah blah. Dude, I constantly get people who tell me, oh, you needed to open the back door up and put him in the back seat. The video, I mean, this takes place at like 30 minutes into the video. I've already arrested like 2 or 3 people and put them in the back of the police car. I don't get it. I don't get why people watch the video and think, oh, dude completely lost his mind here, even though he's already arrested like 2 or 3 people in the video already. For some reason, he just had a brain fart and forgot that he needed to open the back door and put people in. So I constantly get comments about that. And I got one yesterday, apparently. At 3313, you need to open the door and put the prisoner in the car. No kidding. Thanks. Appreciate the info. Go back and watch the rest of the video. It just cracks me up. Alright, so we're moving to this back corner, and then we're just about going to be done with this. Moose, I see a map edit to fix some of the triggers, wink wink. I also round bell straw too, so team round bell. Yeah, I don't really see doing a map edit so far on it. However, I mean, I could go and put the water mod in. It does really drive me nuts, the water mod not being in for the dairy. I can't believe Giants put a water tank in the game. Why did they put a water tank in the game for you to purchase, but not put water your cattle? That has never made a lick of sense to me. And so, I mean, I sort of get the map designer not doing it. It seems like a little bit of an oversight to me, though, because once you start putting the other mods in, like pig fattening, beef fattening, chicken fattening, when you put all three of those on this map, I don't know. I think it's just an oversight not to put the water mod on the map. So, again, I'm not trying to be highly critical either of the map developer, because, you know, I will get the hate mail. Well, if you're not happy with the map, why don't you make your own so you can make it perfect, you know? That's not what I'm doing. I'm just being honest, you know? It seems like an oversight. Maybe he watches this video, or maybe somebody watches this video that knows him and says, "Hey, do you realize you left water out of the dairy farm?" And goes, "Oh, huh. Maybe I ought to put that in the next update or something," you know? Again, like I said, I have people who do really good maps, and this is a really well done map. Well, I mean, it's a good map. It really is. It's one of the few English maps that I enjoy playing. I have mad props for those guys, because it's not something I have the patience to sit down and do. You're not going to catch Moosey sitting down at a table or spending his days making a map for Farm Sim. This isn't going to happen. I like to play the game too much. I don't mind going in and making a few edits here and there. The Giants editor is the biggest... working in that thing is just a joke anyway. So that's gonna drive me away from it, number one. But number two is it's just far too much time for me to put in to place all these trees and everything else like that. I'd rather be playing a video game and making videos and having fun. So that side of it just isn't me. So but again, you know, I look at these maps, and where I see an issue, I tend to just, my mouth starts running, I guess. So I hope people don't get offended by the fact that, or I hope the map developers don't get offended by the fact that I am, you know, point out deficiencies in the map. I don't mean it in a bad way. Well, except for people who just blatantly suck at it and they put their stuff out there, then y'all will know what I'm talking about if you've been following this channel for any time. I ripped one poor little map designer's map, and oh good God, I heard about it. So, anywho. Just about done here. I think we got like 2 more passes and we'll get it. I forget to ask in another video, why do you like the version of the Fit 1050 you still have versus the newer version? Honestly, I haven't tried the newer version. It's like one of those things. Now, I know this. At the time when the 1050 came out that Timber made, there was another guy put a 1050 out that was junk compared to what Timber put out. And that same person just kept modifying their tractor and putting it out, but it was still junk. And I just never have gone back and looked for another 1050, to be honest with you. So there could be a new one out that I haven't taken a look at. And part of it is because if you got something you're happy with, why don't you just stick with it, you know? I'm happy with that 1050. It works for me, and I enjoy it. So that's the reason I stick with it. There could be a better one out there. True. But I just sort of, you know, you find a mod that you like, you kind of stick with it. And that's that, you know? Yeah, I haven't been looking for one to replace it, you know. And the modding on it was spot on. That was the other reason why. When he modded it, he hit all the little details that needed to be hit on it. As far as I know, he was the first one to put that reversible steering column in there. So it was just, at the time when it came out, it was heads above everybody else's, and I never have really looked back from there. The only, you know, like I said, it was awesome up until Giants broke the physics on it, and then I had some sliding issues. But even now, I think I've got those pretty much under control now. So, all right, I think we are done. But again, that doesn't mean there's not a better one out there. All right, let's go over here, fill this guy up, get him topped off. And that's about going to do it for this video. We're getting about that time. And no, I'm not going to go get that lonely strand of corn. Yes, I am. I lied. ADHD. All right. So yeah, this should fill that thing up and should get us done for today. Oh, did I not get on it? I thought I got... Wow, I just barely missed it. Huh. Now hit that button. There we go. All right. So he is topped off and it's going to run into a fence for some reason. This is just retarded. It's like when your dog runs through the house and sees a squirrel in the backyard and runs and slams into the sliding glass door at full speed trying to chase the squirrel, and you just think, silly dog, your heart was in the right place, but you just sometimes I worry about you. That's sort of the way I am with course play. You know, I know course play is awesome and changes the game, fundamentally changes the game, but sometimes it just doesn't, you know, see the sliding glass door and just runs into it head first and knocks itself senseless, and you just kind of worry about it, you know. You silly dog. Anyways, all right, now drive course, go empty yourself. Good puppy. Good puppy. You're such a good little doggy. See if it can get out of here. It hangs up a little bit over here on this column over here, I think. Nope, it got out with no problem. Alright, that will go dump. See how that drifted just a little bit right there? For some reason, this trailer just gives that tractor fits. Alright, let's take this guy, and we're going to go ahead and roll up to the next field and go ahead and stage this piece of equipment up there while that goes and dumps itself out. Oh, we got to back up a little bit coming out of that field. There we go. Oh, stay off that fence there, Moosey. All right, rolling. So we're going to transfer up to field 12, get this guy up there, and I think that will be the end of the video. Again, we'll do some live streaming tonight, so if you guys want to join me, we'll start around 6 o'clock. We'll probably start off with Court Farms and begin with the whole process of getting this course play set up for this field and start getting some harvesting done. So alrighty, well, so I'm toying again with the idea of setting up a farm sim server and doing maybe like a Friday night farm sim thing. It's getting to be more and more of a possibility, because I'm But I'll let you guys know more about that as it gets closer, but I'm thinking that may happen soon. Just, I'm thinking some multiplayer is due. I think it'd be fun. And jump on there and do a little multiplayer on a community server. So it tends to, you know, my only holdback is I see other people who do them and they tend to like flourish for a few weeks, then they just die off. So I don't know. We're gonna see though. I'm gonna look into it a little bit more. I need to find the right box to be on that that works and performs really well with farm sim. Some do good, some don't do good as well. So if I can find the right one and get a decent rate on it, I will probably be looking at setting one up. So it might not be anytime soon, but it might be in the, you know, it might not be in the next week or two, but it might be in the near future. Stuff like this needs to be done multiplayer, you know. But I've got to have a server to do it. I'm not going to do it off of my box, you know, because there's just, my box has already got enough going on when it's running recording software and everything else like that. If I'm going to do multiplayer, it's got to be on a dedicated server. So there's a huge possibility on that. So let's see. There's a guy named Jack made a comment on my stuff, but I'm not going to tell you what his last name is. Which is funny because it's actually a nice comment. Just discover your channel, already liking it. Well, thanks, Jack. I appreciate that. I'm not going to say your name, though. And then there's a writing here that's really nice from a guy named Crew Mike, who just talks about the fact that he's just now getting into farm sim thanks to a Steam sale, and how helpful the mods list has been to him and everything. I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you very much. Glad you're finding that helpful, and welcome to the farm sim community. You, sir, will soon become an addict. Oh, the Fent ran into something somewhere. He is colored up red. It's a slow journey to get up here, isn't it? All right. So we'll go ahead and pull this guy in here and park him out the way. And we'll set that off. And then we'll go figure out what the Fent has run into. Oh, somehow he power slid across the yard here into the gate. Now, look, the course is nowhere even near here. So I guess this trailer's just way too heavy for this tractor. Maybe that's it, because look, if we look at the course is way over here. The tractor's way over here. So somebody plowed a little bit. That's funny. Somebody come off of that asphalt onto the dirt and plowed straight across into the fence. Hashtag driving too fast. All right, let's roll this in here, and I can get rid of that course so we don't have to look at it. Oh, come on. Which this works out pretty good then, because I don't have to go back to that other field. Alright, So we'll cut this guy around here, get it straightened up, and then we'll head back to the grain drop, and we'll offload this, and we'll be done. That's got to be a heavy trailer, because that's really more of a construction trailer than it is an ag trailer, so it's got to be extra heavy duty. So I bet it weighs a ton. All right, well, that's gonna do it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and leave a comment below, and of course come on back and join me for the live stream tonight. I do hope to see you then. If not, I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, guys, stay safe, have a great day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you consider giving it a like, maybe even sharing it with your friends. It does help me out a tremendous amount and is greatly appreciated. Also, leave some comments down below. That's really the only way I can gauge if you guys are enjoying what's being put out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want daily notifications. I try to do a new video each and every day. Also, if you want to stay in touch with me and find out what's going on, our social links are down in the bottom left-hand corner. Twitter is where I usually announce schedule changes, live streams, and new video releases. Facebook's a great way to get in touch with me if you have any questions to ask. And of course, I am trying to get to 1,000 followers on Google+, which I know I'll probably be old and gray before that happens. But if you can jump over there and follow me, it would be super awesome. So if you like today's video, there's a whole lot more content on the channel. I hope you'll browse through it, find something to keep yourself entertained until the next video or live stream. Speaking of live streams, I try to do them nightly around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until the next time, thanks again for watching. See you soon.